Let's talk about clove oil versus clove water versus a clove tincture for hair growth. I'm going to break down the clove craze, why it's working, and why you could be getting a lot more out of clove than just boiling a little bit of it and putting it on your hair. If you're interested in knowing the inside scoop on cloves by a herbalist, cosmetologist, and scientist, then keep on watching.
Trust that exactly where you are is where you're meant to be. So keep your chin up so your crown doesn't fall. Remember, you're royalty.
Before we get started, make sure you go ahead and subscribe here to my channel, and once you subscribe, click on that bell notification so you're notified every single time I post another video. I know what you're thinking. You probably think of like,
here's Cyn Clove telling us not to use clove on our hair.
actually, that's not what I'm gonna say. As a herbalist, you are using clove wrong and you are not getting all of its benefits. First, let's break clove down. Where does it come from? Clove comes out of Indonesia and the southern Philippines. This is where it was first cultivated. From what history, you know, and what we can study, the stuff that we know so far. Y'all know how America is. I know that you've seen so many different articles about all of the different things that cloves can do and things of that nature, but let's go over them a little bit, just a little bit real quick. The key and the secret weapon in clove is its volatile oil, aka aka its essential oil. When we are talking about essential oils, there are so many different things that go into essential oils. Volatile oil is another way of saying essential oils. Volatile oils are the oils extracted from plants and herbs and things of that nature, and it holds the essence of the plant. Regardless of popular opinion, the tea that the little clove, little water that y'all mixing doesn't even have half of the volatile oils needed. All right, so but wait, we're still gonna get to it. These are the key actions of cloves. It originated in Indonesia and in the southern Philippines, and so it was used for so many different things. Hair growth was not one of them, but it was treating something that was causing the hair growth cycle to be slowed down. So clove is not growing your hair. What clove is doing is actually fighting against the bacteria infections and the overgrown yeast that you have accumulated in your scalp through your maintenance practices or the lack thereof. In this case, ingesting clove does so many different things. It helps with a lot of different bacteria imbalances that are going on within the gut, right? So all of the properties, even internally, is going towards fighting bacteria infections and things of that nature. So clove is something that you're bringing in to tackle certain infections also within the body, things listed here on the screen. This stimulant helps with mind and body whenever you intake this oil, because this actually intaking it, what it does, it attacks free radicals within the body. Ingesting that and having it in the gut. So I want you guys to think of it like this: if you eat something that didn't settle good with your stomach, and you're having some type of bacteria reaction in the gut, then ingesting clove will kill that infection. The rain is pouring down, it is what it is. It will end up curing that infection or calming down and killing that bacteria. And what it also does, as a result of that, it cleanses, it helps the body to cleanse the blood from an internal level. Increases your white blood cell count because it's cleansing the blood. It was used to treat acne, skin ulcers, and styes within the eye. And because it's so full of antioxidants, what it does is it protects the body from free radicals. which in turn protects the body from oxidative damage, which lead to balding, thinning, and so many other things. But remember, this is all a fight that is happening inside of the body. Most of the scalp issues that we're having, most of the scalp issues that you're having, like thinning, balding, itching, burning in the scalp, all of these things are coming from scalp and follicle infections. A lot of people don't understand that, but dandruff, dry scalp is not something that black women are born with. Because of the patterns and the routines that most women with naturally curly hair or naturally thick hair that's really hard or time consuming to do, most of the styles and practices require you to pack the hair shaft and the scalp full of butters and oils. And contrary to popular opinion, no matter how much you want to argue with it, the body is constantly releasing yeast, good and bad, to the scalp. And by you not removing that yeast, you feed the yeast. And when you feed the yeast, you have a feast of bacteria on the scalp. So when you have all of this bacteria on the hair shaft and within the follicle, on top of the follicle, layered with product, layered with petroleum-based products, no matter how much your mama and your grandma love Vaseline, and the lock method, you cause severe bacteria infections and severe buildup. There's so many people in my comments like, oh my god, my scalp burns, it hurts, it itches, to just touching my scalp hurts. My love, if you Mother Nature agrees with me. If you are a person who has been doing like all of these different scalp treatments and things of that nature, even if you haven't been doing it and you find that you have burning, itching, soreness, if your scalp hurts to the touch, my love, you have a bacteria infection. And the reason that cloves are going crazy across the internet is because the majority of naturals, like it's the clove oil and clove juice is going crazy because you guys are using the cloves on the hair shaft, and just the little bit of action that this version of cloves has for you, this version is killing the bacteria infections that are self-inflicted on the scalp. In the video, in the link in the video listed below, I told you guys about so many different scalp disorders and scalp infections: dandruff, seborrheic dermatitis, scalp psoriasis. Seborrheic dermatitis are all forms of follicle infections, and so many women across the board have these different scalp infections that are leading to burning and itching of the scalp and soreness. And these are not normal things. When you have itching, burning, flaking, things of that nature, these are signs that the body is giving to you to let you know that there is some type of imbalance. Okay, so it is imperative that instead of you finding different things to just put on the scalp, you start working on that from the inside out. I really suggest you guys to stop putting the clove juice or that in your head and actually ingest it, because the purpose of putting it on your scalp is to kill the infection. It's not that clove oil or clove water is growing your hair out. What's actually happening is the clove juice is killing the self-inflicted scalp disorders and different bacteria on the scalp that the whole Team Natural community has caused themselves to have. By not shampooing the hair and not properly cleansing the scalp, what you actually do is allow bacteria and yeast to go from good yeast and bacteria to bad yeast and bacteria, which is actually what dandruff is. So most people that use this clove water, because of all of its antimicrobial and all of its antibacterial, anti-antiseptic properties, it is causing you guys to feel like things are amazing because it's killing that bacteria infection. But even though it feels like it's good, it should only be used as a treatment. Clove juice, clove water, clove rinses is not something that should be used regularly. What the clove is doing is actually helping your body get rid of free radicals, right? But there's good bacteria and there is bad bacteria. So let's say you use the clove rinse a couple of times and it gets rid of all of the bad bacteria. What will happen by you making this clove rinse and this clove water a part of your regular routine, what that clove is going to do, once the bad free radicals are gone, once all of the bad stuff is gone, it will keep killing anything that is there that it feels like it's in excess of. So you want to make sure that you don't do that, because if you kill too many of those free radicals, you end up weakening your white blood cells, and that's the worst thing you can do. Because even though cloves do help you, cloves are not to be used in the way that people are telling you to use them on YouTube. Whenever you are just simply putting a tea inside of water, all of the properties that you guys are seeing, all of the vitamins and the nutrients and the minerals are not all extracted by simply putting clove inside of water. The most potent version is actually using a tincture or an essential oil. The way you make a tincture is by actually putting the clove inside of alcohol, right? A certain type of alcohol, and allowing it to sit, so that way all of the volatile oils and everything that is actually amazing about clove that you guys have read about in blog posts, those things are only extracted through an extensive extraction process. Boiling clove in a pot of water is not a big extraction process. We only have a few of those essential oils, not to mention when you put products on your scalp, it's only absorbing about 60%. Not to mention the other percentage that's gone based on the layers of dead skin that haven't been removed from you not exfoliating the scalp or shampooing the hair properly, plus all of the different bacterias and everything that's already overgrown on the scalp by you not shampooing your hair on a regular basis. Only absorbing 60% versus you actually ingesting clove and its properties into the body. What this will actually do is give you over 90% of the nutrients that it has. Not even up for discussion. It makes more sense for you to actually eat cloves and ingest it than it does for you to put it on your hair. Because if you are noticing these results, from you putting it on your hair and it's only absorbing about 60%, if even that, just imagine the effects you would get if you actually ingested cloves. What cloves is actually doing is cleansing the blood, and when it cleanses the blood, right, it actually triggers your white blood cells to produce more rapidly, which I taught you guys about in this video here, where I explain the hair growth cycle. The anagen phase of the hair growth cycle is the phase of the hair growth cycle that the majority of your hair is in at one time. And within the anagen phase of the hair growth cycle, within the hair's follicle, the hair cells, the cells that your hair are made of, are multiplying rapidly within the anagen phase of your hair growth cycle. Cells are just reproducing themselves, right? Ingesting clove into the body, what you end up doing is clearing out anything that could be preventing the cells at reproducing at the rate that they need to. So if you're going to use cloves, I highly recommend cloves to, help you to do a detox. Let's not act like cloves are just coming through and helping everybody grow their hair out. The reason that cloves are now the new thing is because what cloves actually do is undo all of the horrific things that, and I'm saying horrific because that's how your follicle feels about you. What clove is actually doing is just undoing all of the damage that's been done to the follicle and done to the hair shaft over years. Cloves are meant to clean bacteria, cleanse and kill the yeast and the overgrown bacteria that live on the scalp. And they do stimulate hair growth by cleansing the blood and helping the body to produce more cells. Helping the body to produce more cells within the anagen phase of the hair growth cycle. But again, you're going to get way more ingesting the tea that y'all putting on y'all head than you would actually putting it on your hair. And clove is not growing your hair. What clove is doing is undoing what you've done. It's not growing your hair. All right, I love you guys so much. If you want to know more and the scientific breakdown of it, then make sure you check the link in the description box below and read my blog post, because in the blog post I use all of my like super duper nerdy words and stuff, so it's a little easier for you to understand over there. I love you guys so much. I really hope this video was easy to understand. It's pretty simple. Cloves are not growing your hair. Again, cloves are actually helping you guys to undo all of the stuff that you did. So, rice nipple juice and pickle juice and all of this different stuff that you put in your head.
Trust that.